Okay, so you've got a top overhead panel.
Yep.
You've got a center pedestal between the two pilots.
Mhm.
You've got a front portion of that center pedestal, a middle portion, and aft portion. And the same thing with the upper overhead. You've got a front portion, middle portion, and the aft portion. This helps you kind of, you know, see and figure out where all the switches are and stuff. And then of course you got the front panel um, on the dash there. So when we talk about different switches, you know, we'll say, you know, overhead, middle portion, and then you can quickly go to that, or in the center pedestal aft. For instance, that's where the probe is, and the parking brake, and then that just kind of orients you um, to where things are. So you got your checklist up. So just like with most things, you need some sort of electrical power. And in this case, they put the generator switches on before they even throw the battery switch on. So let's see, that's on the middle portion of the overhead is Gen 1, Gen 2. Hit those on.
The rightmost of 5 silver toggles.
I think it'll say Gen 1, Gen 2 on it, I think.
Yeah, so we push
well, it
them.
says number 1 and number 2. I can see where it says
right click so it
generators.
pushes forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
you want them forward. So the overhead, the way the switches are laid out, and Al can probably weigh in on this, it's on if it's forward, and then it's off when it's aft, or in the
So
center.
off is centered, and then it says test is aft.
Okay, yeah, if it's a three-way switch.
Where are we at?
So we're starting.
Ah.
So you need a source of air for the
air source heat
APU.
start switch to APU.
Yeah, so in front of that, just aft of the power levers is some switches there where it says on the right side, it says air source heat start.
I see air source, APU, engine.
So that needs to be on APU. You're using the APU as your air source to start the engines. And then the one, it's not on here, but I think the one on the left of that, it says fuel pump. That should be an APU boost,
which is back.
Which is aft. Now turn on the battery.
What's the OAT here today?
Let's see, the outside air temperature should be 22-ish.
Okay. So we don't need pitot heat.
No.
Battery switched on. Master caution light is unilluminated.
So at this point, I think the next step here is the APU generator would come on, which is right next to the 2 gen switches that you had turned on earlier.
APU gen switch forward.
Yep. Yeah, which is on. It's gonna get noisy, so unless you got your volume adjusted. Then so the next thing is a big silver toggle after that, which is the APU itself. So throw that forward and we'll start the APU.
APU is on, lights are correct. APU generator. And
I hear noises.
2, 4, 6. Should have 6 lights illuminated on the chiclet chart.
2, 4, 6, correct.
Yep, 6 yellows, and I've got 3 greens at the bottom.
We have the APU gen, and the parking brake.
Parking brake, yep.
Okay. Everybody good there?
I believe so. My APU kicked on. So.
Okay, so that basically lit up everything. And I don't know what it is in real life, but at this point, I would call this readiness condition 3, which is now you can start turning things on, which is what we're going to do now. So when we say Redcon 3, you're basically, your APU's running and your systems are pretty much online, so you can start.
Technically, you're not Redcon 3 because you haven't turned on the avionics and stuff yet.
Okay, so which is what we're gonna do now.
Yep.
So let's zoom in on the center pedestal. Okay, and I'm gonna go off of. I'm not gonna follow um the checklist, but we'll go back to it to make sure we got everything. You see where that little white triangle is?
In the
Middle
center.
portion, center pedestal.
Yep.
White
See it.
triangle. That's the stabulator controller.
It's the
So below
emergency-
that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that is the emergency
Yeah.
stabulator controller.
Yeah. So there's a bank of auto flight controls. Below that it says SAS1, SAS2, trim, FPS. Turn those all on.
The one that
And
says
then,
power on reset that are the bottom right, do not turn those on.
Yeah, but turn on the boost below the SAS1 though.
So yes, SAS1, SAS2, trim, FPS, and boost should all sig on.
So those should be, you should have
Okay.
5 ons, and then you also have the stabulator auto control should be on. So you have a total of 6 green ons. Check?
Yep.
All right.
All inside the box. Yep.
Okay, let's go ahead and get the AHARS INS. So on the top right, you should have a lit up horizontal display with a bunch of hash marks on it.
Plus and or minus on the left, plus on the right.
Right.
Yep.
So when that comes on, in the past, it would say align for AHARS, but for this model, it just comes on automatically. So once you see those hash marks and the minus and plus, that tells you that the AHARS is finished aligning and you're good to go there. At the top front center, I think you should see the lock, and somebody mentioned this earlier. That's the tail wheel lock and unlock. Right now, it should say lock.
Yeah. So if you
Hang on.
press that, it will go black and then say unlock.
So do that. Go ahead and press it.
And
Okay.
then put
Start over again. You had me at the hash
Okay.
marks.
So
and then
so
Lots of
from
hash
the
marks.
panel just to the left of that, in the center it says tail wheel. And you can
Oh,
see in
yes.
green it says lock. If you press that square, it should go blank and then say unlock.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and put it back into the lock position. You don't want it unlocked during startup.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Frank. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, just below that is your INS panel, and there's 2 black rotaries. If you zoom in on this, this is where you would turn things on. Let's start with the bottom one. You can turn that to the right. I prefer that to be lat long because I'm used to knots and feet. And the display should come on.
Yes.
Okay. And the display, it says on the bottom right, okay. So you hit enter once, and then it'll give you a new display. And then on the bottom right, it says okay with a question mark. You hit enter again.
Mhm.
Okay. And so now you have whatever is showing. And right now at the top black rotary is set to wind data. That's why the display is on wind. So turn the top rotary to distance, time, and bearing.
Okay. That's that top right one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The-
Distance, bearing.
At the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock position.
Yeah. The 1
And
o'clock.
so the display would give you distance, bearing, and time to the next waypoint. And if you remember, we did the increment decrement. If you punch those, if you increment 1 and go to
Oh.
waypoint 1,
Waypoint 1.
it should
Yeah.
say 4.8 nautical miles at roughly 285 degrees.
Yes.
Which one is that?
Waypoint 1.
Inker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inker dinker.
Okay.
Ingrid.
The increment decrement switch, if you look at the keypad, is on the bottom left corner. So you can look down and hit this while you're flying, or you can bind it, or you can have your co-pilot in real life do it for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Usually,
Oh.
the guy on the right's flying, guy on the left's pushing all the buttons.
And
That's-
and so I like binding it because then I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
Sure.
having to look down and do all that. Okay?
Yep. I'm good so far.
All right. So now let's turn on the radios. We really won't need it today, but just so you know, kind of a familiarization on it. So this has UHF, FM, and VHF. So let's go back to our white triangle and get us oriented. If
Okay.
you look on either side of that stabilator, you have a row of toggle switches on both sides. That's the intercom controller, if you will, right? So the toggle switches allow you to listen to stuff, and that rotary knob just below those silver toggles allows you to transmit on a particular, because you can only transmit on one radio at a time. So right now it's set to ICS, and you've got 5 options.
Oh, thank
Okay.
God the KYs aren't implemented. Oh.
So just remember that. So if you're frantically trying to communicate and you can't get an answer or something, first of all, you got to make sure that you have the speaker turned on so you can hear the whatever radio, and the radios are numbered. So the FM radio, FM1 is, there's 2 FM radios. There's number 1, the UHF is number 2, and the VHF is number 3. The second FM is number 4, and then the HF radio is number 5. We don't have HF, but we do have 2 FM radios, a UHF and a VHF. So just for the the refueling exercise, just remember UHF, which is number 2. So that's what you'll use to talk to the tanker, is number 2. So that's the intercom panel. Look at the right intercom panel, and just above that right intercom panel is the UHF radio. And you can flick that to main or both, which is the left gray milk bottle rotary.
Okay.
And I just learned this the other day. If you set it to main, it's okay. But if you set it to both, you're listening both to whatever you've got tuned in and guard at the same time.
Yep.
So you can hear if somebody transmits on guard, not only are you listening to the tuned frequency, you're also listening to guard. Now you can only transmit on the tuned frequency unless you switch to guard, so you can transmit on guard. But anyway, that's just one of those emergency kinds of things. And then the top buttons, you can figure that out. That changes the frequency. And then the right gray milk bottle cap rotary is for manual, preset, and guard.
Okay.
So if you look at preset, the channel window pops up with a number 1 on it. You see the channel window, and then the gray knob next to that channel window allows you to switch to the different channels.
Okay. And that's just your preset.
That's your preset, which is in the editor, which you would do in the editor. Sometimes that's kind of, for the tanker, for instance, it's preset to number 1, so you don't have to fiddle around trying to fly and trying to tune the radio. I had set it so that channel 1 on the preset is the tanker.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just leave it for there. That below the right intercom is the FM. I can never remember which is which. Al, is it the right one that's number 1 FM, or is it the left one that's the number 1 FM?
Usually, memory serves correctly, the left one, it's left to right. So left is 1, right is 2.
If you look at that radio, that FM radio, they're identical on both sides of the pedestal.
If you hover over the selector button, the top left or top right buttons, it'll tell you the name
it's
of
FM1.
it and FM1.
So
Okay,
the
so
pilot side is FM1.
Yes.
So the pilot side, that's the FM
FM2.
radio, FM1, and then on the other side, the co-pilot side, is the FM2 radio. And in between those is the VHF radio. So now you know about all 4 radios, the UHF, the 2 FM radios, and the VHF, and the intercom.
Holy
Any
fuck,
questions?
the radios.
And you can apparently on the VHF you could select FM or AM. I didn't even know that.
The modulation is selectable on the VHF. That's correct.
Yeah.
And it also has presets too. If you want to do it manually, or you can use the presets. Okay.
I think so.
Well, we're not gonna mess with the radios initially, because you have to. Misha and I found out you have to set up. You have to add, because this is a mod. This is not a paid module. You have to add the radios on it to be able to use the
The game functionality.
VoIP
DCS, yeah.
radio system that DCS came out with, so that you don't have to use SRS. In the past, we've used SRS. I suppose we can do that with this one as well. But since this is just preliminary systems at the moment, we'll plow on with the systems. Okay.
Okay.
Notice we haven't even started the engines yet.
Mhm.
And I saw, if you ever watched this YouTube video from a Thai Blackhawk unit, they painstakingly go through
Yep.
the checklist, and it was a mic model too, so it's really interesting to watch. Anyway,
It usually will take you 20 to 30 minutes to get everything set up in the aircraft.
okay, I think we can dispense right now with turning on the front command systems panel, which tells you, are you following the Doppler, or are you following
You don't have to do
heading?
that. I mean, there's no use doing that if the engines aren't going to start. So
Yeah. Okay. So up to this point, do you have any questions or any concerns, or?
Not at the moment.
So for orientation, our focus now goes to the front throttle, upper front overhead, which is the quadrant controls for the power. So we've got the switches pretty much where we want them. So we're ready. Basically, at this point, we're ready to start. And do you have any bindings for the power levers, or are you just going to use mouse clicks for this?
Probably just mouse clicks right now.
Okay, so there's three pieces to this. First, you got to give it gas, which is the white knobs. Do you see the white knobs?
Yes.
Okay, put both of those in direct. So it's right click, and that puts them in direct.
Yeah, puts them straight down.
Right, now that's basically, you have gas available. And at this point, we don't have to worry about it for now, but put your anti-collision lights are gone to let everybody know that you're fixing to start the engines. So if you look at the power lever, there's a button at the top portion of it. That's the starter. So you would hit that, and then the starter would begin to spool up. And if you look at your front center dash, you've got a bank of tapes. When I say tapes, I mean indicators, which I forgot to do. That I forgot to do is there's a button, a black rotary button on the left portion where it says push for test.
Mhm.
If you push that, it'll light everything up. So that's your light test, basically.
All right, you lost me. Where was that test button at?
On the front center chiclet tapes,
just below where it says XSNN.
the transmission,
Yep.
there's two black knobs.
The leftmost
Oh,
one.
got it. Okay.
The left knob basically tests to make sure all your lights are on, because you don't want to find out that your lights are out when you're starting the engine. Okay? Are you oriented to that location?
Yeah, I saw the test button.
Okay, far right is your engine speed, your NG tapes. You see that speed?
It says
NG?
RPM and torque and 0 over torque.
Yeah, NG speed.
Yeah, NG speed is your turbine speed.
Okay.
And the starter, if you hit the starter, that thing will start to climb.
Yeah, they're both
And that-
started.
and then they'll stop at 270. If you're already started, then we don't have to go through this. But you start and then you push the throttle to idle,
Mhm.
and then it'll idle up to 650-ish or something like that, and then
Yeah.
that indicates a stable start.
Yep. Both of
So-
mine are at that 680.
Okay.
As long as
So-
everything is pretty much level on both of them, you're probably okay.
Okay, if you're already started, I'm going to start number 2. Everybody can follow suit.
And you will also have seen that some of the yellow warnings will have gone away.
Yeah, the only 2 yellow warnings I have now are Gen 1 and Gen 2.
Yep. And that's only because the PCLs aren't all the way forward to
Oh,
spool up the
fudge.
generators.
Okay. There we go. I had a extra one in my stabilizer. Excuse me.
Because when the PCLs are at idle, it's the APU generator that's still running the electronics.
True. So until you go to full power on the engines, you should keep this. Make sure the APU is still on. I notice here, interestingly enough, they don't ever tell you on this checklist to turn off the APU. Oh, they do. I'm sorry, before taxi. Yep.
Okay. So number 2 is stable at 630-ish, I think. 630. All right. We'll start number 1. And usually the starter chiclet light will go out at 600.
Okay, so what it is the NG speed for idle is 6.
What you're looking at. Yep.
Yeah, it's CRPM.
4 on
630.
yeah.
And it's not instantaneous. It takes time for NG to spool up to idle.
Yeah, mine are at that tick just below 700 right now.
You're good.
Okay. So NGs are stable, so you should have 2 yellow chiclet lights. As Al was mentioning, the generators are still offline at this moment. And let's look at the checklist here. Engine 1's repeat stabilized. Okay, we're good. So at this point, we can, but before we go ahead and go to fly, let's go ahead and extinguish our caution light. And so you should have only one flashing yellow light, which is your low RPM.
That's above
Yes.
your attitude indicator.
Yep, got it.
All right. So at this point, we'll go ahead and slowly move our PCLs forward.
Now both of them or just one?
Both of them.
I don't know how to do both of them. I just do one at a time. I don't know if that's not recommended.
Oh, I've got
Usually-
those bound to the gray increment decrement axis on the Warthog,
Oh, interesting. I use that for visual zoom, but that's a good idea.
and then
You can do that.
move them forward, and you'll see
Together.
your torque begin to climb. It's in the red zone at the moment.
It'll come back down once you stabilize.
Yeah, if you collect us all the way down, torque should stabilize around 19%. And all your tapes should be right where they should be. RPM, temperature, oil pressure and temperature, transmission pressure and temperature. Then on the left
Mine are all
is
green.
fuel. Yeah, it's all green.
So do you see your torque tape?
Yep.
It's
Now, hang on,
mine's
where's the torque take?
It's over in your
Again.
pilot instruments.
just to the left of the airspeed indicator are 2 tapes. One says RPM, one says torque.
Ah, there it is. Yes.
Okay, so somebody mentioned torque should be at or about around 19.
Yep.
And your percent RPM, that's your rotor speed, which is different from your turbine speed. So that needs to be in the green at all times because rotor RPM is life in a helicopter.
Now
95.
that's the percent RPM.
Right. The middle one.
Okay.
The middle one is the rotor. Yeah, because see at the top where it says 130, it says 1R2. So
Yes.
rotor is the one in the middle, and the other two are your engines.
Okay.
I stand corrected. That includes your engines. So the middle one is the rotor RPM, and all three of those should be in the green between 95 and 100.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and start extinguishing our chiclet lights.
Yep, it's just APU and parking brake.
So turn off your APU, and that should.
So APU switch off, air source heat start switch to engine, which will allow you to do restart of engines in the air, and the fuel pump needs to go to off.
Not prime.
I recall. Does it say go to prime?
Well, I'm just saying if it's in prime, you're ready to air start rather than putting it to.
I'd be honest with you. It's been so long now. I don't remember whether we did that or not. I thought we always just turned it to the off position. It was a
Okay, turn it off, and then let's see. You've got
Okay,
APU.
and then air source goes to engine, which is full aft, correct?
Yep.
Yes. And again, the significance of that is you're going to use an engine for a restart in the air.
Yes. So now, okay, the APU is
Yep.
off.
off.
Fuel
And-
pump switch is in the off position,
Yep.
and air source heat start is in the engine position.
Correct.
Okay,
And
anything else about generators?
no, you're
should
done
look
with that.
Yeah.
You should look
Okay.
over and see at your Christmas tree, your chiclet chart way over there on the center left side.
Parking
there should-
brake on. That's
Yeah.
the only thing.
That's it.
That's what I only
Okay.
have. Parking
Oh,
brake.
good.
So, all right. So before taxi, obviously parking brake release. Assuming everything else is good to go.
Not
if you
yet.
want- Go ahead.
CSP. So,
Okay.
do you see your HSI? HSI, below the
Headache.
attitude indicator.
You need to not use you need to use the actual full term because I don't think
Horizontal situation indicator. Sorry.
Compass.
Oh, the course, the compass, course
Yeah.
navigational piece.
That's the horizontal situation indicator. Just to the left of that is the command systems panel. There's
Oh,
two
yes.
portions to it,
Mode
a
selector.
top portion and a bottom portion.
Okay.
Poke on the top portion, nav, so it should say on.
Yep.
And on the mode select, and we'll use the INS, the Doppler system, so it's the far left one. Poke on that, and it should say Doppler GPS.
Yep.
And you should see your HSI. The top left corner is the distance to the waypoint. Okay.
Kilometers.
Okay.
And there are two needles. There's a yellow needle and an orange needle. We'll be following the yellow needle.
Which just
So right now, the
off.
INS is set for waypoint 1. At least I am. So you can set your Inker Dinker switch to reflect waypoint 1.
Yep.
And your INS, which is set to lat long, should say about roughly 4.8 kilometers at 283 degrees. Unfortunately, your HSI is set for metric, and it should say about 8.9 or 9 kilometers.
Yes.
And the yellow,
I have
The yellow is
286 on the
pointing
course.
the Pope hat,
west
is what I call the
northwest.
Pope hat, is west-northwest, roughly 295, which corresponds to your INS panel that says 283.
Well, if you scroll, see the CRS where it says course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you scroll that to the same direction, I'm showing that 286 right now.
Yes, 286.
Mine's 285. It could be our spacing on the tarmac,
Yeah,
too.
it's probably just a spacing.
Mine's-
Okay, so
mine's
but
a
that
little off.
course gives you just a direction kind of deal.
Right. So
Correct.
what that does is that tells you, right now, we either we probably need to turn If we were flying, we would turn right to bring it to the course, which corresponds with the INS.
Okay, so that course knob is just a rotating knob for
Right.
the pilot
Now,
or co-pilot for them.
Now, the thing is, just to make it a little more confusing for you. Yes, absolutely. You just do that, and what that does is it's a visual reference for you for what direction to the course to the place you want to go. Now you see the line that goes, through the entirety of the compass rose there. That little
Yeah.
line, all right. What you're telling the helicopter right now is you want to fly a course of 286. If you drift left or right of that course, that little line will go left or right, indicating you're either left or right of course. You'll see that when we get in the air, but that's just another
So-
piece to it.
If you're
Okay.
off course and the line is drifting left, do you fly left to chase it, or do you
Fly into it.
counteract it? Fly into it. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. Now the other deal is, I don't know if we're gonna go over this or not. Is there a HMD in this?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, look at go to the center console, go all the way back.
Mhm.
All right, and you see there's right next to the parking brake, just to the right of it, there's a panel that's got two gray knobs on it.
Yeah, nipples.
Nipples. Okay. The bottom right side, there's a big flip switch. If you flip that on, you'll get your heads-up display.
Ah.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Great. I don't remember that before. Has that always been in?
Yeah.
Never
Not
mind.
realistic.
well,
Eh.
it is in the Mike model. They may have retrofitted some of the Limas to have it too. When I was done flying, they had started putting a system on that you could turn on. It was a little tube that went over top of your night vision goggles, and it would provide you the heads-up display under NVGs
On the mic model?
on the Lima model.
On the Lima. Okay. All right.
Right.
Well, it's up to you. It's preference. I don't fly with it, but you can certainly fly with it and do that. So at this point, let's check our external lights. I usually have the anti-collision lights on and bright position navigation lights.
Right. Where are those at?
They're hidden.
Unfortunately, they're hidden
Oh,
because you can't be on the
okay.
co-pilot seat. You got to go to.
That's why you typically set those switches before we even start the engines. But if you don't have it, that's no big deal. Okay.
Yep.
Not
Sorry.
that I can see that they're on, but it says they are.
So, since we're testing our cyclics and tunings and all that shit, let's just do a hover check there, get a feel for our.
I would say let's do the taxi portion, and because you want to do your hover check in the direction of takeoff.
Okay, real quick
Please.
on the anti-collision and position lights, they all need to be forward, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. For right now.
daytime for anti-collision, and bright for navigation.
Okay,
Turn to the flash.
flash and then forward is bright. Okay, that should be it, right?
Should be.
Okay,
The
so
engineer's
now that
favorite
I've got
word.
those,
Okay.
hang on.
I don't seem to be flashing.
I don't see them flashing or anything right now, but maybe they
Mine
might
aren't.
today.
Mine aren't flashing at the moment either. At least I don't think they are.
They may
Extremely
have.
hard
They're hard to see.
into.
Okay, there's 4 switches, right? Anti-collision lights, upper, both, and lower.
I think day is aft, isn't it?
Just set it to day.
Yeah.
And this is why you need a co-pilot.
Yep.
I'd be one of y'all's co-pilot.
It's definitely a two-person aircraft.
Oh, I have a little flashing light down there now. Okay, that's nice.
You gotta be patient. Too much flash.
It's not very bright.
Oh, well, I see a flashing light on my tail.
There you go.
Yep.
You're good.
I've
Alright,
yet to
that's
solve the deep, abiding mystery of the Blackhawk external light controls. Oh, there's a
Magic.
fourth switch also.
Oh, the other question that I have also is, are fuel knobs, are they supposed to still be in the direct position?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Standard is to fly with them in direct.
Okay, what does
Crossfeed.
XFD stand for?
Crossfeed. In other words, if for some reason one of your fuel tanks, you'll notice the far left of those strips is your fuel. If you get a dissimilarity between the two of them, like 200-pound
dang it.
difference, then you want to do a crossfeed from
To
the one that
equalize the fuel weight.
to equalize the fuel, because otherwise your CG will be off and it'll be harder to fly the aircraft. It's like having
Okay.
everybody piling on one side of the aircraft.
Okay, yeah, I got you now.
Speaking of which, remember that location of that fuel strip, because that is going to be key for the refueling exercise.
Okay. Yeah, it's all the way on the left in the center.
Yep.
Okay.
I think my lights are on.
You
Could have made
can,
this in the dark, and then we could have known.
Yeah.
I don't know, somebody to the left of me.
It's
has
going to be
got
fun
it.
enough
lights
to get
on.
familiar with the aircraft in the daytime.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe I'm ready.
All right.
I am ready.
So before everybody goes anywhere, and I'll lead out, and we'll go to the right because that seems to be the closest to the. So, anyways,
that's the good
Make sure-
direction.
Well, you say right. We're pointing it at each other, so let's use a compass.
that's right. So
To the west.
to the west.
Thank you.
All right. So
Okay.
first thing before you do anything is unlock your tail wheel. So center console up top. Click it and make sure it says unlock.
Check.
All right. With that way, when you start, you don't need a whole lot of power. I went to 30% and I started to roll. And then then it's like any other aircraft. You probably
Don't forget to release your parking brake.
Yep. Thank you.
Working.
All right. And then you'll be going somewhere between 30 and about 24 on your power to make sure you're keeping the taxi kind of constant.
And the secret is forward pressure on the cyclic starts your movement.
If you need to, the Blackhawk has a 5 degrees, I think, 3 to 5 degrees nose forward on the main rotor at neutral, so it should just start rolling. That's why Frank was saying when you like most helicopters, when you take off, you have to pull aft and left to deal with that forward bias on the rotor system, and also to overcome the translating tendency of the platform.
This is so cool to be actually able to taxi this helicopter.
All right, I am rightmost or eastmost. I'm holding for whoever is.
All right, I'm chalk 3 in the
Left
line here.
Yeah, I'm Chuck
Got it.
4. I'm trying to get her rolling here.
Right,
I'm
so
at
Make sure you get
44.
the
Yeah,
parking brake.
park brakes off. I'm at 44%. She's not moving.
Yep.
Oh, there
no
we go.
brakes. There we go. There you go.
I had to get her up to 48%. Oh, she's sliding on me now.
Okay, so we are going to take off from the taxiway here. So as you get everything centered and you get close to where you intend to stop, so I'm going to come all the way to the end of the taxiway here, and I'm going to stop there.
Okay,
But
Misha,
give
go
it-
ahead.
Okay.
But
Sure, Bob.
yeah,
You-
once you
Give yourself some space.
once you get to a certain point where you're getting close to where you're going to stop, make sure you punch that tail wheel switch to lock it again before you take off. Otherwise, you'll have very sporty landings. Okay, so I'm comfortable that I've got a good heading here, so I'm going to go ahead and click mine, and I'm locked.
Is it true that you only really need to release it when you're making turns, and then you can lock it so you can go straight?
You can. I mean, if you want to, you can, but the more times you operate, because all it is, it's a pin. It's an electric fired, not fired, but moved pin.
And
that-
that's where you can get, or that's one of the, what is it? There's a big deal about shearing that pin,
Yep.
right?
There is. And if you shear the pin, then
Yep.
You-
You're a
Free
grocery cart wheel.
yep. Well, number one, number two, the maintainers are going to not like you at all.
That's what it was. I was like, there was a lot of shit that I heard about that.
Yes, that's not a fun, because it's a pain in the ass to fix, because you got to
That's
hike.
what it
You have
is.
to hike the tail boom up so that you can swivel the wheel and get it reoriented to put the new pin in. All right, so I'm stopped. All right. Frank, I assume we want to do left traffic?
Well, we're gonna head to waypoint 1, which is at 2 o'clock from our position here.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to just do some airfield work first, but that's okay. We'll go to
No,
Okay.
so this is a combined navigation introductory sightseeing flight.
Okay.
So tail
All right.
wheel locked now, correct?
Yep.
Okay, tail wheel locked. Parking brake is in, not
Yeah,
locked. It's free.
Yep. You want to do that because if you do a roll, if you land, and the aircraft is designed to be able to land with a certain amount of forward airspeed, right? So you can land this thing comfortably up to 20 knots. You can, if you need to.
Yeah,
But
make sure you don't want your parking brake on.
Because then you'll go ass over tea kettle forward, or rip your landing gear off. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up to a hover, so I'm slowly increasing power, and I have to go back and left, and then I'll hit trim, and come up to a 10-foot hover. And as you can see, I'm not even doing real well at this right now. Okay, I'm at 60, about 61, 60% in a 10-foot hover. I'm gonna go ahead and move off here a little bit, not to interfere with anybody else.
Ooh, touchy bitch.
Yeah. That's why you had that trim release where you can get to it quickly.
Misha, you okay?
Good, yeah.
It keeps on wanting to walk forward. Is that normal?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have to give it some aft cyclic, because again, the main rotor is angled forward 5 degrees because the aircraft is somewhat tail heavy, and when it's at a hover, you're at 0 degrees on the rotor. Hang on just a second, I'll be right back.
Gonna stop on me in the middle?
He did it on purpose to
Look
make
like-
us just hover here.
Looks like a
So-
bunch of students at Rucker, don't we?
Yep. Okay, so what you want to, when you look at your attitude indicator, you want your attitude indicator to be at about 4 degrees, just below that first line, 4 degrees nose high, because the aircraft will sit 4 to 5 degrees.
That's an
All right.
actual instructor. Wow.
And again,
Holy shit, the amount of rudder you gotta give this thing is fucking incredible.
you shouldn't have to give it any. It should come off the ground fairly even, because
No, to hover.
Yeah, I'm not giving mine any rudder.
I'm
It's-
giving mine a bunch of rudder.
I would mostly use cyclic for control at this point.
Yeah, because all your flight controls are bound. So as you pull power, the tail rotor is automatically supposed to provide pitch. If you don't have any chiclet charts going, you should be good to go.
If I let go of my rudder right now, I'm gonna spin to the right.
All right, try your trim release and see what that does. Because I am not doing any rudder work at all right now.
Hang on.
Don't feel bad. I'm putting in left pedal.
Really? I wonder what the,
I mean, it could all be curves. Everybody's got different curves, so
now there is that, yeah.
and that's
Because I'm
you know,
drifting way bad right now.
Okay.
it's
If you're,
not
are you
nothing in
drifting
the-
laterally, or is the aircraft trying to turn?
It's so let me get out here in the middle because so if I let go,
Okay.
okay, there it is. Let me swing right real quick. I'm gonna go to chalk 4.
Okay. So the other thing is with this helicopter is you really don't need to make a whole lot of gross changes
Misha.
to your
Yep,
with
I
your
know.
cyclic and stuff.
There you go. You got it.
I'm gonna ease off to the left
Alright.
here so I don't collide with
Now,
you.
again, because there is a breeze, the aircraft is going to hover much more effectively if you're facing into the breeze. So I'm going to turn to our takeoff heading, and I'll move forward some so people got room.
All right, Misha, I'm going to hold for you.
Copy.
I see Vamp is last chalk.
Yep, I moved to 4.
5, I think.
Al's absolutely
5.
right about the hovering into the wind. It's when I was trying to make that slow turn that was taking me wind from the left that started screwing me up there.
Okay, just remember you also have a big giant tail rotor back there, which is another prop. So it's pulling air, so you're going to have to, so the helicopter should deal with that too. So I'm sitting here pretty stable right now, and I'm not doing anything with the pedals.
Right cyclic, Misha. There you go. You got it.
Remember to use your trim
Whoa,
release to get not big movements, no big movements, because that can lead you to
Okay,
badness.
I'm off to the side, so I'm ready to.
Okay. I'll let you guys let me know when we're ready to go, and we'll take off.
Chalk 2's ready.
3's ready.
4 ready.
5 ready.
All right, here we go. Low movements, you want to bring those down so it's just about on the center line of the attitude indicator. I'm going to do a slight turn so we can get back directly on course. And if everything's turned on, you're now at an altitude where your APR 39 Victor 2 is going to tell you that there's a searching radar.
Yep.
Now you see how that on your attitude indicator there's that yellow line, vertical yellow line. And for me it's kind of sort of bouncing between, still saying that we're right of course, so I'm turning into the course change.
Lead speed?
All right. Lead speed is 90, going for 120. And I'm using power, somewhere between 78 and 82 to get, there we go, there's 120. So I'm gonna level the aircraft, trim her out. Okay, we've got a wind, so I've got to put some more in. And I got a little fast, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try and keep this thing at 120. So I'm slowing some now.
Still on course. 5.5 clicks.
Yep. I'm about 400 meters behind you because of that, I think. Frank?
Yep.
I'm behind
Okay, I'm
Misha.
not sure. Okay. I got something bad going on here, so I'm not sure what happened.
Oh,
All right, continue. Damn. That was weird.
Okay, 3 clicks, 3.5-ish.
Say speed, Frank.
110.
Okay. Thank you.
That was weird. I got an uncontrollable left roll. I'm not sure what I did wrong.
Oh shit.
I'll catch up with you guys.
All right, I guess I'm out. Okay, nope.
Oh, you're good.
So left roll.
Okay, 2 clicks, I'm gonna start slowing.
Can you still hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I don't
I
know what
have had
Discord
some
did.
kind of malfunction because it will not let me reselect a roll.
Just go
Well, it
ahead.
should be easy to find the airfield coming back. There's a big smoke plume. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There's 70.
All right. I'm not sure what happened, but I
Okay,
cannot
LZ's in sight.
Are we landing?
left
Okay.
roll. Back
Low
to
one.
spectator.
Open area, straight ahead. Pick a spot. I'm going to land left of the tall tree.
That open green area.
Yep.
I'll try to pull in behind Frank.
All right, I'm gonna go left forward.
Picking up dust. I'm gonna go all the way up to the tall tree here to give you guys some room.
Passing you on your left, Misha.
Copy. I'll wing to the right. There's plenty of open space.
Watch out for the slope.
Yep.
There is slope, so I'm at the tall tree, left of it. Coming to a hover.
I'll
Oh,
go to the right
whoa.
of the tall tree.
One, got it.
Broke the rotor blades.
Oh, Frank, my connection timed out.
Okay, I'm on deck. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know how to fix that or why that is.
I'm not sure what happened either, Frank. But I had an uncontrolled roll and I couldn't get out of it. Full right trim, full right side, and it just kept rolling. And then for some reason I couldn't reselect, so I had to leave the server and come back in.
All right, I'm going to be busy for a second trying to fix my sound settings.
Oh.
Shit.
Okay, let's see. We've got 2 blades turning. We can restart.
No, I'll catch up.
Yeah, there's some of us who are in the process of restarting everything.
So who's at my 3 o'clock over there?
Probably me. I'm trying to change my sound settings because I think Discord blanked out my screen for 4 or 5 seconds, and then my sound is now coming out of my main speaker instead of my headphones.
Vamp, are you restarting?
No, I'm just going to try to get control of the...
I'm trying to see if when the girlfriend is going to be back.
Oh, okay.
So since I have this, I was going to see.
So you were out. You got punched out or something?
It completely kicked me. It said lost connection to server, so it completely kicked me out back to main menu DCS.
Well, at least you got some familiarization this morning.
Yeah.
I would just say we just hop on anytime, and just practice. The startup is pretty good.
Oh,
Real routine once you know what you're doing, and then just tinker with using the trim when you should be able to.
And being comfortable with where you got your tuning set to, because you have to have the ability to do fine commands to make the airplane do fine movements. That's going to be important for the refueling.
Yep.
Even when she's just cold, I can't get in the co-pilot seat.
Yeah,
Because we're a multiplayer.
all right,
Oh.
Yeah.
Frank, I'm ready.
Well, that's fun.
We're if you look at your knee board, you'll see a map and step through it. we can skip around, or we can do it in
Yeah, let's
in
just go in order.
sequence.
I will attempt to follow you.
Okay, and so switch to waypoint 2.
Oh, wait a minute.
Confirm
Where's
waypoint
that?
2
Waypoint
is
2.
showing on the INS display.
Oh, this sucks.
3.7 at 186 for me.
Same here, minus 3.6, and the Pope's hat is at about south-ish, 180 something. So
All right, hold on. Let me rotate my course line over there just
Yep,
for fun.
and we'll adjust our course
All right,
needle.
I'm set.
All right, picking up. And I'll just do a left
Who's up?
departure, left turnout.
Copy. Turning left. Looking for you. Yep, I have you. What torque are you going to, Frank?
It kind of depends. I'm still in transition. I'm about 72-ish at the moment.
Yep, all right.
Doing about 90 knots. Okay, we'll settle down here at about 66 on the torque, 100 knots. About 5.5 clicks to
66 and
the
100.
waypoint.
I'm in trail about 300 yards.
Okay, he settled down at 60% torque and doing about 105, and I'm just using the hat to fly it.
Wow,
Yep.
that was a slow start.
Are you guys working waypoint 2 right now?
Yeah, we're heading to 2, and watch out for the tower, red and white tower.
Valley.
Yeah, I'm gonna start slowing down. There's 2 kilometers. And I don't remember what this one is. This might be the oval racetrack. Okay, there's 70 knots. Yep, oval racetrack. I will go far right.
Copy, far right.
Watch out, lamp posts on the left. Light posts.
Copy, light posts.
All right, lifting.
Wow,
You might as
had
well
some-
head for 3.
Okay.
Oh, crap. I hit a tree. Oh, they're like solid fence posts. Oh, look at me. I've landed in a tree.
I don't have distance. I've got course, so I did something wrong.
All right, so nav on. And
Oh,
then
nav
Doppler
on.
GPS.
I just had
And
heading
then-
on.
Yep, and then you want nav on and Doppler GPS select. Below
Got it.
that in the mode select.
So waypoint 3, I've got 10 clicks, 245.
That's about right. Yeah.
All right, taking a bio. I'll be right back.
I'll meet you at 3.
Now, Al, how much physical friction is in the collective? Will it stay if you let go of it?
It should stay. It should stay.
There's
Okay.
a
There's
twist
there-
adjustment in there.
There is. I have not tinkered with that in game. In the real aircraft, you have to cinch it down because the vibration of the aircraft will cause it to go down some.
Yep.
Why is
Okay.
my stabilizer still?
I had to loosen it for ARMA to get finer control, but so I have to hold it.
Physically.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why is my stabilizer? There now. Thank you, boy. All right, here we go.
Right. I'm scanning for you, Bob.
I'm still 6 clicks away.
All right. I'm 3 clicks out.
All right, I don't know what this is. Not something is not happy here. Something is really not happy here. I don't know what happened. All right, settle down. Settle down. What the hell? Suddenly I'm got a bucking bronco. Settle the fuck. What the fuck? Wow.
4 clicks.
See the open area. I am.
Well, 3 clicks. What is? Just can you describe the LZ?
Just an open area.
Are
Looks
there any
like.
features near it?
You'll probably see me here in a sec, but no, I don't see any other features other than there might be some slopes though, so just be careful.
I'm looking for running lights.
Don't know if you can see
Is
mine.
is it between the built-up areas? Is there a body of water near it?
Hang on, let me look at the map. Okay, I'm on deck.
I'm looking at for number 3. It looks like a course of 217. Is that about what you had, Bob?
I had 2
30.
something.
Just north of the 3 lakes. Looks
I'm
like a
400
golf
meters
course.
away.
Okay, I'm not doing something right.
I'm overflying something looks like a school.
Oh, let's see. I'm well south of you.
What waypoint
You're
are you
heading-
on?
I went to 3.
That's where I'm going. Hang on.
I'm showing 3 on my nav, but I'm saying it's
Waypoint
course-
3.
I've passed it.
Okay.
I am not getting a course correction here.
Give me a sec. My track hour's whipping around too much, and I can't read the waypoint number on my hoo-ha.
All right, Frank, we're supposed to be in.
Oh, you are correct. I was on waypoint 2.
That's 2, which is northeast of the airport.
Okay. Yeah, waypoint 3 at 6.7. I got ahead about 155.
South.
Yep.
Southeast.
Okay, my bad.
Come on.
I would like them to have the waypoint number show up on the HUD.
All right.
Yeah, right now you have to
Oh,
look
man.
down to the panel.
All right. For some reason, I'm not. What have I not done?
What sort of issues are you having?
Nav. I've got nav on, Doppler GPS up, and I don't have, and I still have flags on my attitude indicator.
I have flags too.
I do too.
Yeah, mine never went out. I don't think they figured that out yet.
I'm trying to correct course here. Maybe I just need to do more drastic change here.
You have the problem of assuming this is a fully functional bird like the one you made.
It's probably no. To be honest with you, it's probably me. Headspace and timing. Just it's amazing how much you can forget.
3 clicks.
There we go.
I'm
I
crossing
didn't
the.
have enough.
Go ahead.
Course correct option setting. I didn't have enough course correction in.
I have. I'm crossing the construction cranes and I see lights in front of me.
I'll come up to a hover here above the trees.
Oh, that's why. I see why. Okay. I'm too close. It's very sensitive now.
I see you,
There
Frank.
we go.
Great.
Are you the only one there?
Yeah.
Yep, I hit a tree and died horribly.
Yeah, I flipped on landing. Again, I forgot about the Blackhawk being so touchy on final touchdown. Touchy on the touchdown. All right, forming up. And I'm assuming we're going to 4.
Yep, we are
All right.
going about 5.5, 5 clicks.
Yep, 245.
Uh-huh. Got a crane on the left.
Seen.
This
Doing
rate.
about 60, 70 knots. About 52% torque here.
And you're faster because you have less gas on board than me, I bet.
Well, I've got 1,860 pounds.
Yeah, I've got 22 because this is a brand new bird.
Okay, 3 clicks out. I'm gonna start scanning. Don't remember what this one is. That's... I cannot fit the description on the panel. It would have been nice to have some sort of description.
I'm at 2.9.
Yep. Just
Tally on
crossing
somebody.
2.
I got you guys.
This looks like a built up some buildings ahead. Starting to slow. There's 1,500 meters.
Well, you're not kidding when you say slow.
This
I'm
aircraft
doing
does not slow down real well.
70. Okay, there's another racetrack, so that's good. I'll do far right on the racetrack.
Okay. I'm still
It's,
1.1. Oh, I see
it's
the
a
racetrack.
light beige track, looks like.
What waypoint are you landing at, Frank?
This is 4. Okay, watch the wires. And once you clear the wires, then you can start descending.
All right, I'm gonna go left of you.
Yep.
All right, I'm about 3/4 of a mile behind.